Thank you for being here. I'd be upset. I don't think there's a gay worth their salt out there that doesn't have a sweater that is capable of handling this situation. You should be fine. Scarves alone. I'm not ask anyone here that knows me, and there are a few that do. I am not a touchy-feely gay. I'm not an inspirational gay. All of this has been handled much better by other people that I've heard here today. What I want to tell you, the perspective that I come here from is that obviously I'm a resident of New Jersey. I've been a resident of New Jersey all my life. I've worked in New Jersey all my life. I've also been an employer of people in New Jersey. And so I just want to tell you why you're different and why DOMA matters so much. Now, I know that the Edith Windsor trial went to oral arguments happened today, and it's a mistake to ever try to predict what the Supreme Court's going to do or say based on the feedback that you get. But I'm sure some of you have already heard some of the oral arguments. You can't ever stop pushing. And if I don't get to another point, here's why. The reality of the situation is that in New Jersey, with consent, you can get married at 16 years old with consent. A couple of 16-year-olds automatically have more than 1,100 rights than you do, magically. They just become law. Now, granted, they can't take their first drink until their 5th anniversary. They can't drive a car until their 2nd anniversary, and they can't vote for a president until their 2nd anniversary either. But magically, they are simply worth more in the eyes of this country than we are. And it's preposterous. It's a preposterous assertion. But specifically in terms of employment, because I knew I was speaking to college students here. With employment, two things that you need to be massively concerned about, and I'll address this just from why DOMA is horrible for us as a community, as employees and as an employer. Number one, your marriage being legal in the state of New Jersey, and I firmly believe that we will overturn the veto. I firmly believe it. There's enough time and there are enough votes and it's going to happen, and New Jersey will have marriage equality. Fine and dandy. DOMA is still in the way. DOMA makes it so that, for example, if anybody getting a job in New Jersey, and New Jersey is a great place to work. We have fantastic employers here. But one of the reasons why you want to get a job is because the health care is most often in New Jersey either partially or entirely subsidized by the employer. The part of the premium that you pay for your health care insurance, sometimes the employer pays some of it, sometimes the employer pays all of it. And if you're married, but you're not in a federally recognized marriage, the part that the employer pays is taxable income to you. Your spouse is going to receive a tax bill on April 15th for a tremendous amount of money that you were not anticipating. If you're in a federally recognized marriage, the employer's contribution to your health insurance is automatically exempt from your tax liability. If you are not in a federally recognized marriage, it is not exempt, and it is included as income, and you will pay the price. If you're an employer, and I have been in this situation myself, I gladly and would do again, though I'm retired now, I gladly and would do again provide benefits for couples that the government denied me. But I would do it again because it's the right thing to do. But understand that when employers are providing benefits to the LGBT community, they are doing so at a massive cost to themselves. Not only is the money that I just described to you that actually tax on to your spouse's income, not only is that money a burden to the employee, but that money is also a burden to the employer, and the payroll tax goes up. It's expensive to hire gay employees that have spouses. It's expensive, and it's difficult. And that means it's just easier to hire straight people, and that's wrong. DOMA does this to us, and that is wrong. It's also difficult for the employer to keep track of people that are using their benefits for same-sex couples. It's a tax burden for them on the payroll tax. It's a liability for them administratively. The government demands that employers keep track of who is using their benefits for same-sex spouses. There's a list, and you have to be on that list, and you have to have that list maintained, and that is how they keep track of the tax liability. And that's DOMA, and that's wrong. There's a lot of other reasons why DOMA is wrong. It's been described tremendously by other people here. Edith Windsor, God bless her heart, 83 years old, and she had to go and convince a panel of judges that she accidentally bankrupted herself because she inherited her partner's, her wife's estate. We could accidentally bankrupt ourselves by inheriting from the loss of our spouses. Look, I know DOMA had its moment in the sun today, and we're not going to hear anything about it for a good long time. By the time the Supreme Court writes their synopsises and the opinions, and then someone's going to write a dissenting opinion, and these things are going to take some amount of time. But we cannot stop. And I'm so happy to see everybody here that believes in that too. We cannot stop fighting for our civil rights because we are taken advantage of. No one speaks up for us except for us. And I just love the faces that I see in the crowd. Thank you. Thank you so much.